started by Ceka, level 7 and 7 principles. I hope you can hear me. The window's open and the puppies are looking out the windows. And I didn't want to close them because we've been on the land for some time. They get to run free and run crazy, but we haven't been in the car. They love the car. So I wanted them to get their ride on right now. I've been just being on the land for the last 4 or 5 days, isolated in the desert. I'm coming to some things. I may have spoke about this before to you guys, but the desert is a special place. You know, the desert is for the wise. The desert is a place where there's so much life in the desert, but only the wise can find it. Only the wise can find water in the desert. Only the wise can find the oasis in the desert. It's easy to find the oasis in a tropical place, or a place that appear to have abundance, but it's hard to find. And I know I'm dusty with my hair. I'm headed home now so I can take an earth bath, which is just flower water and flower oils and some Himalayan sea salt. But what was I saying? I forgot. The desert is a special place. It's so much abundance here, but you have to have an eye to see it. You know, we're used to the places that we come from, like the cities, and it's a lot of conversations going on, negative, positive, and then we go to places like the tropics where the abundance of nature is, so-called God, and we're going to talk about that, what so-called God is. There's a lot of conversations going on there too, a lot of things being handed to you, right? That's visible to you. That's right within your sights, right within your grasp. Grab the mango off the tree, grab the banana off the tree. You know, the water, the desert. In our minds, it's just a dry place. There's no life. Oh, there's water in the desert, but you have to be a wise one to know where to get it. There's food in the desert, but you have to be a wise one to know where to get it. You have to have the strength to go through the cactus to get and know that the desert rose will become a fruit on the cactus. You have to be wise to get through the mesquite tree with all the thorns on it and know that the mesquite bean is food. So once your eye is open, then you'll see the abundance in the desert. Look up how many species of birds live in the desert regions. How many species of coyotes and rabbits, and what are they eating if it's so deserted, if it's so vast with nothingness? It takes a wise person to live in the desert. So like when I go to the tropics, I'll hear it differently after coming from the desert and learning the conversations in the desert. It'd be easier for me to filter out even the poisons in the tropics, because we're so used to noise. We don't know how to go to the quiet. See, the desert is quiet. The desert, again, is only noisy to a wise one because you begin to overstand the conversations. But I'm going to get off of that. One of the things I want to talk about is two couple things. Is nature God? And how do you live free? So let me deal with how do you live free. Alright, I say we want to live free. To live free, you have to free your mind. Living free just don't mean without bills. No, living free means to do what you will with your mind. To think as you will and act upon that. That's living free. See, but they doing so many things in programming. That's why we can't live free. Because I've been thinking, I was like, well, what is it when I'm on the East Coast? Well, not East Coast necessarily. When I go home, it's like always like this bad feeling or something bad about when I go home. And how rough life was at times. Whenever I left home, I felt more free and less captivated. I'm like, what the hell is it? I was speaking to a friend of mine the other day, and he was saying that he's going to be leaving home and he's going out and abroad, doing other things with him and his children. And he was like, it's just been so hard for him there, like to save money, the da-da-da-da. And it made me realize what it was about myself when I was there. It was the programming. See, when you step away from home, you tend to branch out and do things that you wouldn't do under the security blanket of your mother, of your parents. I'm talking about when we're young right now. When you step out from under that security blanket, it's the same thing in life. When you step away from the places that offer you security or that you think make you secure, it makes you do different things with your mind to survive. So I realized it was the programming. It's the programming of starting with our parents, because they are programmed. And then we become part of the programming. Like, look around you. Look around you. Start in your home. Look at the programming. How you have to prepare your food. How you have to store your food. You have to store your food in a refrigerator. You have to cook it on a stove or a microwave or the oven. The light is blinding me. The sun is starting to set. It's beautiful, but it's hard for me to see on this road. How you bathe. You have to get your towel, your wash rag, your soap. You have to have the water to come out of the faucet. I mean, a shower head or whatever, or the faucet for your bath. You have to drink out of a plastic or a glass cup. You have to sit on a couch futon somebody made. You have to lay in the bed. These are programs, and it's thousands of them in your home. How your shoes have to be made. You're not choosing. You think you dress yourself every day. You're not. You have multiple choice. You're choosing from what they've made. You don't make your own shoes. You don't make your own clothes. That's why we've started down here. I've made my harams. I've made me dashikis. I've made me actually 3 pair of shoes. I crocheted them and put soles on them and da-da-da-da. And then you go outside of your house, and there's several ways that you have to travel. Multiple choice again. You have billboards all around you telling you what to eat. You go to the corner store, that multiple choice again telling you what to eat. Choose one of these items. You go to the supermarket, choose one of these items. Nothing that you plant yourself. You don't choose. See, nature offers you the seed, but you don't plant it. You throw that away when you cut the green pepper open. You cut the orange open, the watermelon open. Well, you have the opportunity right there to choose what you're going to eat. I'd rather have the choice come from nature. I mean, that multiple choice come from nature than from man. I can't get watermelon right now. I'm trying to get me some watermelon with seeds. That's because I threw all my seeds away. So now I have to take what they give me or don't take anything at all. So I actually try to seedless watermelon. I don't know, something about the idea of it freaks me out. I think Luna did that to me too. because I don't eat anything that's seedless. I want the watermelon so bad. I want to taste to see if it tastes the same. It doesn't. It was sweet and all, but it don't taste the same. Half of it still, I cut it up and put it in the freezer, and the other watermelon is still in the back of the car, and it's been 2 weeks, a week and a half or something like that. But we're not making our own choices. The television, TV, television tells you what to see. The news come on and programming. Your shows come on, programming. Tonight's programming on Channel 11 at 8 o'clock. See? You'd be better off watching Netflix, Hulu, or Vudu. Because you could choose. Still a multiple choice from what they give you, though. We don't create theatrical things. But then you can monitor what you watch and what your children watch. If you just want to allow all science in like we do most of the time, or whatever we're into, we choose our programming. But we're used to just being told what we can watch. If you have cable, you feel me? I have cable. I just don't watch it, though. I just never watch it. And when I do get in the mood, which is I don't know when I do get in the mood, I watch stuff like TLC or the National Geographic or whatever. But I would have to wait for the show Naked and Afraid to come on Friday, or Mick Jagger, or whatever that man named, running around the woods and shit. And Alaskans, like I like shows like that. But anyway, I had to wait for the programming. You cut your radio on in your car. It's all programming. And they play the same things over and over and over again all day long on the radio stations. Programming. Then the music is programming you and programming your children. You go to church and on Sundays and you get programmed some more. You just go to God via the book. And whatever the preacher's going to read to you this Sunday. Where's there room for self-discovery in any of this? There is no self-discovery. So what is living free? Free your mind. And there's a few out there who has freed their minds. We may not agree with everybody's message that everybody putting out there, but some people have freed their mind. Like you got a lot of people in the conscious community. Their minds ain't free. They're just dealing with scholarship and stuck on that. But then you have your natural community. They're more so free. They rose above hell. I told y'all Babylon is a state of mind. And everything else is hell. And some of us just rose above hell. I rose above hell a long time ago. Even though I was still living in it. I didn't know what to do, but I knew something was wrong with this shit. I was living in a city, and I was buying my home, and I didn't like the sheetrock on the wall, and I was wondering, was it brick behind it? Because another house I had, I wound up knocking a hole in the wall, saw the brick behind it, and I exposed it. So I wanted to check this house out to see if it was the same, and realized it was a chimney behind it, and a fireplace and all of that. So I exposed it. And then I called the city to see what I needed to do, to get this thing kicked off. And they said it's illegal to have a fireplace in the city. I'm like, what? And that changed a lot in me. Like, I can't even go have a fire. Because at the time, I was only, like, having my fires when I would go camping. Or, because I know you couldn't just have a hole in the ground in the city. So I would grill out. But I wasn't really grilling. I was just having a fire. So then I started making rocket stoves and Dakota holes. Look those. You can look those up on YouTube. I made me a Dakota hole where I created a fire in the ground, and it doesn't create smoke. You have two holes. One hole going in the ground and one coming into a diagonal, and it's called a Dakota fire hole, where it doesn't kick off smoke. So if you say you want to run and you're in the wilderness, you want to light a fire, you can do that, and you won't see the light or the smoke. Not that I was on the run, but I was just interested in all those little things. So what I did was I put tape over my whole house on the light switches. duct tape all my light switches and force myself, even through the winter, to survive. How would I survive? Because everything that I have right now is what they telling me I have to have. I have to have this heat. I have to have, okay, even without, I can't light my fireplace. You know, the smoke is going to go. What can I do to heat myself? So I started doing little crazy stuff. I took a cinder block. Most of my house was cold most of the time. We just dressed really warm. Because we wanted to do this. I convinced my roommate. So we decided to do this for 6 months. And I put a cinder block, you know, like your cinder block, turn it up the long way, so you have the 2 holes. And I put a candle in both holes. And then the top hole, I mean the top part, the candle in that hole, the top part, I put a hole in that and made a flower pot radiator. And I would heat the bathroom like that, because that brick, whatever it's called, that concrete would get hot. You put heat on that, and then it radiates heat. And that's how I would warm my house up. And I would use like, not Puritan wax with the chemicals in it, but like a soy wax. It doesn't smoke and burn your eyes and all of that. I started heating my house. I would take a roll of toilet paper and stick it inside of a dog food can, pour alcohol in it, and light that. That'll burn for 2 hours. It'll heat a small room. I just started doing shit like that. I lit my whole house by candlelight. Did it safely. I put candles in glass holders. I cooked by that's the one thing I didn't do. I didn't cut on the kitchen light, the big light, but I would cut on the light over top of the stove. You know what I mean? I like to cook clean, so if it was night and I was cooking, it'd be that. So then I just got in the routine of just cooking before it was dark. I ate by candlelight. I did everything, but I bathed by candlelight to get myself used to it and break myself away from this programming I'm in. Didn't watch any television. And that's what broke my spell. And we talking now, that was probably about at least 8 years ago. Is when I started breaking free that way. And knowledge has been for a long time, but putting those kind of things in practice is at least 8 years ago. Maybe even a little longer. But the point is, to live free, you have to free your mind. You have to rise above hell and look down at it and see what's going on around you. This is not living. You can pack all your shit up and go to the jungle, and you can still be in hell if you still part of programming. You're just going to take it with you. You're going to have a Babylon mindset in the jungle. Free your mind, because you can live right here in hell and have a free mind. That's why I'm dirty like this, because I'm the carekeeper of land. Meaning I paid for it, and I pay taxes on it every year, but we don't own it. I'm the caregiver of it. I take care of this land, and I build on it. I build on it for sisters. I build on it to be self-sustainable. I got my fire pits. Right now I'm building a building out of sandbags. It's called earth bag or adobe building. Look it up on YouTube. Why? Because I can. I need to do this. I need to do things outside of what I'm given. I'm going to take the earth and build the whole building and show it to y'all. Other people have done it. I'm not the first. It's been done for thousands of years. You had a cob. His whole house is made of just dirt, straw, and sand. And I have to do that in this lifetime. Build my own home. This is what the men should be doing. Well, actually, the women did it first, so we're going to have to start it again. I mean, in the BMORE community, because other communities are doing this, but we don't know anything about it. Free your mind. Do something outside of the ordinary just because you can. Cut your tell-eye vision off for a week and listen. That's why I say STFU, the ritual, STFU, to just be quiet. The sisters are doing it. Some sisters has done it for 3 days. Some did it for 10. Some did it for 7. Shut the fuck up. See, meditation is important for us. It's very important for us to go within, because it's dark in there. You have to get out of the light. You have to get out of the manifestation. Even if all of this is a part of us, still too much light here. Still too much light at nighttime. But how many of us even enjoy the nighttime? You're so into the light. You have to go to the darkness. Start by shutting the fuck up. STFU, be quiet. If you could do it for a day, be quiet and listen. And while you're in your quiet, meditate and talk to your source. Ask for your answers that you need for your ascension. Speaking of source, is nature God? I've heard that said a lot recently, that nature is God. No. Nature is not God. Nature is the purest thought of God. Nature is the purest thought and the thought that's still in order. God is not helium. Helium is the first of the manifestation on a physical plane dimension. Helium is first. That helium is not God, but helium is your deity. God is a womb mind. Use the word God for the sake of conversation. Source is a womb mind. Source is a consciousness. Source is no element. See, because then you say nature God, that's because you stuck. If you stuck on the physical, you stuck in the light to think that nature is God. But it takes a womb to go back and find it though. You stuck in the light to think that nature God, because hydrogen is the beginning of the manifestation on the physical. But did you know that there were 99 elements on the dark side? Starting with quark. Look it up. Q-U-A-R-K. A quark. Light is birthed from the quark. Suns are birthed out of quarks. And then there's 99 elements that way. This is the physical side, and that's the non-physical side. That's nature too, that you don't even know about. But no, the elements aren't God. The elements are the first thought of source, the mind womb. God is a womb, which God is a mind. Any mind, listen to me, any mind is a womb. Any womb is a mind. Consciousness is a mind womb. Source is a mind womb. Source is not hydrogen. Source created hydrogen. Let there be light. Source created hydrogen. Source created helium. And the marriage of...
Turn left onto Martin Luther King Jr. Parkway.
Sorry, y'all. And the hydrogen and helium merged and created everything else. All the other elements. You can have a carbon atom. To have a no. You can have a carbon atom, but you have to start with helium. If you count 6 protons in that, you started with 1. Helium's there. Think about it. The merge of hydrogen and helium created everything else. That's your Adam and Eve. God is mind womb. Nature is the purest thought of mind womb. Nature is the purest thought of God. Still in its purity. Cannot be adulterated. Don't have will. Now see, nature don't have will to change itself. The elements can't change. They have to do what they have to do, what they've made to do. We have will. So when you look for your deities and you call on all of these beings, name a being that's not made of hydrogen. That's your deity. That's your God. That's these beings you're looking for your aid. Jesus, Buddha, name somebody. Name something that's not made of the elements. The elements control your being, your physical being. See, you are here on the physical realm or plane of existence. This is where we are. So there's laws here, and those laws here are governed by the elements, your deities. They govern you. And then when you leave this plane and go into the next plane, you are governed by the dark elements. See, I used to think that melanin was dark energy and dark matter. So that's a whole nother story. Whole nother thing to talk about. You think that melanin was dark. I used to think it was dark energy, dark matter, but no, it's not. Melanin is carbon and copper, still elements. We're governed by the elements. See? Nature is not God. Nature is the purest thought of God. To get to God, you have to go back to nature, become natural, come back to your natural self, and nature will help you do that. But once you get there, once you come into your natural self, then you got to go to God. How do you do that? You got to go in the darkness. Don't just deny me. Do it and then tell me it don't work, that it's a crock of shit. Be quiet for 7 days. And then go blindfold for 12 hours, 6 a.m. And I'm saying a.m. on purpose, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sit up, sit awake, but just be blindfolded. See, if you do it at night, then you're going to naturally lay to rest, and then you're cheating. You're not experiencing being blindfolded. You need to experience it. Go, shut down. Be around the people you love, though. Talk. Listen to them talk. It's easy to isolate yourself. No, be around people and can't talk. That's when you putting the work in. Go to nature, which is the purest thought, the first thought of God, consciousness. And then go back to the consciousness. So get your systems right, even while y'all doing y'all cleansings, y'all darkness, or just shutting the fuck up so you can't do the dark. Just be quiet then. And if you could do that, fast while you do it. Just fast. Stop letting the body have all this work it has to do and digesting all of this stuff while you're trying to listen. All them conversations. I'm going to continue this later. I love you. I love you guys. I have to run inside and get my baby some stuff. But I love you. Free your mind. Who said that in Vogue? Free your mind and the rest will follow. Peace.